Let me get that together for you tomorrow.
Jose wasn't even supposed to go.
Jose wasn't supposed to go. Okay. All right. So you guys all get there. Y'all get there. Who has the address to the house? How come y'all went directly to his storage? Okay. Did you guys go right up to the house right away and it wasn't ready?
No, because as we arrived, we got the email that it would, we got the email that it would not be ready for another 3 days. Even though we were told before we left New York that it was ready to go. As soon as you get here, you can get the keys. It's all set. Okay. That's the only reason why we left when we did, is because we were told that it was ready to go. As soon as we get down there, we got the keys. So we packed up and went down.
Okay, now hold up, because as you're saying that, it makes me want to ask, 3 days, 72 hours for someone who had already set up, paid jobs, scheduled. I'm pretty sure they could have said, hey, my house isn't ready yet. You know, they could probably work with the employer. Why was the first thing, hold up, let me get it out. Why was the first thing to all turn around and drive back with it?
What's going on, Andrew?
This is the part in her video where she tried to push her narrative.
Yeah, what was her narrative in that sense?
Trying to push the narrative of I was running drugs. Brother, I don't run drugs.
Yeah, so yeah, she was bringing up that she was suspicious of it. But even if she's suspicious of it, that's not saying that, you know, what Jose does is his own business, right? Well, and he would be the one with the connection, and you wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
No, but as far as my understanding of Jose, he was only talking to one person, and she lived in the Philippines. Because they kind of had an over the phone.
See, I don't believe this Jose Roman was out touring the world in that sense, because he himself is a criminal and he was living on the streets, and he was lying in real time on Justice for All's panel. I was there witnessing it. What he was doing was different than the story he was portraying. So people are lying all around in this case. So, I mean, they probably lump you in with that. I mean, so Allison portrays it as though they were dating. Like there's this new love in her life in that sense.
From what I understand, they started actually dating a week after he stayed down there.
A week after.
Mm-hmm.
So he's at Grandis and Candace's all this time. How much sense does that make?
Yeah, 0 to none.
Why wouldn't Jose return back to New York and back to his former life?
He didn't have one.
What, he was just renting space on your couch?
He didn't have a former life. When he was with us, he didn't go anywhere. He stayed put in his room or in the house being house bitch. That was it. He drank and he smoked pot.
It's because that he was in prison. Like how long after he was in prison did he shack up with you guys?
I didn't know anything about his prison term.
He wasn't in prison?
Not that I know of. I know he had issues with his ex-wife. I know he had issues with his children. As in they are adult children. They got into fights and arguments due to his excessive drinking. I know that much. I know.
Why is his name listed on those charges?
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of Jose's that are listed.
Well, I'm sure it is, but why was it traced to him? And how many of them are there in Gloversville?
Surprisingly, I wouldn't have a clue. He isn't the first Jose I met. I met another one that was
Jose Roman.
Well, Jose Romans, I don't know. I couldn't tell you how many were in Gloversville. A lot of people move up from the city. I don't know how many people are in Gloversville with that name.
I'd say that not too many.
But
Candace loved Randall's coming up on the hill, sweet tea. So what is can you explain this back and forth between Ro and Mama Bear? What's going on between them, Andrew?
They got into a fight about information on one another. It's been going on for on and off for it's been going straight for almost 2 years now. I can't really
Really?
remember what exactly started it, but it's just intel after it's just public information, details on each other's family after details on each other's family. They're both stubborn, strong-headed women that don't know when to stop. If you want it, that's what I take from it. So, and of course I get blamed for starting it when, you know, I could sit up here and not say a damn thing and I get blamed for everything.
So you lost contact with Jose Roman about when? Like when you were down there on the strip?
I lost contact with him about 4 days after he was down there because I got a hold of him, asked how he was doing. He texted me back, said he was doing good and things like that. And then the only other time I heard about Jose was from Hunter and how he was dating Allie, and that was it. After that, I had no contact with him, and it's like, bro, what the fuck did I do to you?
So Alyssa and Candace had a conflict over Jose Roman.
Mm-hmm.
When did you first hear about that?
I heard about that after the fact.
You never wondered what happened to Jose after that?
Oh, I did, but he wasn't brought up in conversation. Other than he was taking Hunter to go to the store or something at the time I called, which of course I found that was a little convenient.
How was your relationship with Grandis and or Grandbun and Sherry?
I don't really like either of them. Never have. And as for relationship wise, I kept it decent in front of them. Because I didn't
Because
want
they
to.
lived around Hunter as well, like all the time, right?
Huh?
Did they all live together, like with Hunter?
At one point in time, they were all in the same under the same house, in the same house. Whether it be a two family. Well, at the time it was a 2-family house when they were living up here. When they moved down there, Sherry was already there. Grandbun moved down with Allie and the kids into one house of their own. And then shortly after the Wells case begun, Grandbun wound up moving into getting her own place. I guess she just got tired of it. Or Allison smartened up.
What do you think the main problem is with the Summer Wells mystery right now?
Nobody wants to
or
say
ever.
Ever. Nobody wants to say nothing, and a severe lack of giving a shit by local LE.
Because of the lack of information.
That too.
Isn't that suspicious?
I think listen, from my understanding, you can correct me if I'm wrong, or even research to correct me. That'd be great. There was a child missing before Summer went missing, and they were missing for 12 days, and the child was found. So, but here it is almost 4 years later and still nothing on Summer. I think it's a severe lack of giving a shit from the LE.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
I think if the child that was missing for 12 days wasn't on the Mr. Lawson's family's property, I think the child would have remained missing. That's my opinion. That's my thoughts. It doesn't.
You're not putting any of this blame on Candace.
I mean,
suspicious. Like somebody's putting Ellie up to something. Like there's a bit of a front here because it doesn't seem to me that Candace Bly was a very concerned mother to begin with.
I honestly don't have any clue. I mean, it could be.
It resembles a lot like what you would consider to be an insurance scam.
It does. But yet again, I look at it and honestly, she doesn't look smart enough to pull off something like that. But
that doesn't make any sense. All you have to do is lie.
Yeah, well,
and they lie all the time, almost exclusively.
Oh yeah, they do. But yet again, I mean, everybody's first point is to point at the parents. And I mean, didn't they take lie detectors and shit in the beginning?
No, and they don't mean a thing anyway.
Yeah,
Especially when you've been drinking, especially when you're always fucked up and you have a reason to lie. They're good liars.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to think of it. I mean,
What are they
they
supposed to
muddled
ask
it
them?
up from the word jump, so.
It's not really an easy button to figure out who's telling the truth. Of course, they're lying about something. Nothing seems right, especially if you're a concerned parent, concerned over the whereabouts of your missing child at that point in time. It's like they wanted to move on right away.
But from my understanding, she was more
Seeing
worried
the
about
resurrection.
Hunter. From my understanding, she was more worried about Hunter and what he was going to say than help finding her own child in the beginning.
I really wish you pursued that with a lawyer.
Listen, I did everything I could legally.
Why would you ask that, Dick Dollar? Dick Dollar's asking you if you consider yourself a victim of CPS.
Why? Because they get called on me all the damn time, and it always comes back.
Oh, that's abuse by proxy. That's different. I thought.
Yeah. I mean, dude. I mean, Jesus,
I get it.
come on
now. Fucking stupid me. Now I get it.
Listen,
oh
I got
slow.
Listen, I got custody of all my kids, all five bloodline.
What does that mean? What does that actually mean? That you've had to go to court in each case and win a battle in court over like custody of your children? Because like, I know I'm a single dad, and it's not like I have some sort of award that says I genuinely have
it all depends.
Your name's either on the long form birth certificate or it's not. It's very difficult when somebody asks you, like, how can you prove that
I got the paperwork.
you are who you are in certain circumstances?
Right. No, in some cases, females aren't exactly, by law, they have, what is it there? What's the word? All rights to the child, even with a father established, the mother still, even if when mother has, I can't remember. Fuck. There's a proper saying for it, and I can't think of the wording of it. But it's basically the mother has all say rights, whatever, over the child as soon as they're born, from the word jump. And if a father wants to take the child to say go somewhere or whatever, they run a risk of the mother saying, hey, he kidnapped my kid. So basically custody is established to basically prevent such things to happen.
Unless there's something. Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying. Okay.
Some mothers I'm not going to front. Some mothers are very evil, manipulated people, but so are some fathers.
Yeah, that's human nature too.
To rebuttal what this young lady said in caps lock, sweet stativa. Yes, I've had joint custody of Hunter since 2018. And I believe back in one of my lives, I read the whole paperwork on a
You've never had custody of Hunter, effing liar, says Sweet Sativa.
Yeah, thank you.
Before I close this out, can you answer simply, Nicole? Do you remember this? Do you remember saying, you know what happened to Summer? You're going to take it to your grave?
I said I know what my son has told me. I know what he's told me about the whole situation since 3 days after the fact. And it's the same thing he's been singing on each live he's asked about it. So I can't really take it to my grave if he's barking about it on the live.
Yeah, so this custody with Hunter, I'm confused over. You've had a custodial agreement since 2018. I see what you're saying. I get what you're saying, because that's what Jeremy followed up with this. That's what you showed Human Aid Solutions at the time.
Yes. Yes. And on that paperwork.
Yeah, but do you know what? These agreements, as soon as an agreement like this is broken, it's not worth anything and it doesn't mean anything. You can break it at any time. And the whole agreement's right out the window. It doesn't mean shit. So people like to use these agreements far after the fact, when in fact it hasn't been adhered to since day one.
She was following it quite close, because all I would have literally had to do was just come to the next town over and turn her in for violation of the court order. and they would have revoked it, and she would have been in prison. And
So
yeah, so
you know Andy B. You know Andy.
What?
Lockdown with April C saying Andrew knows Andy Bernard before Summer went missing.
I never met an Andy Bernard before Summer went missing. I know an Andy, but not an Andy Bernard.
Okay.
There's more than one Andy on the planet.
Maybe she was a victim of confusion.
Probably because when he would pop into my lives, I'd say Andy, and people would probably would think that would be Andy B due to probably the content of the day.
Oh, so
but no, there's two there. He's a whole separate entity, has nothing to do with nothing. He's a friend. I've known him for well over 15 years.
So there's a girl you're supposed to gain custody over a few months ago. Was this
I did.
The one with the sex offender mom?
Yep, and I got joint.
So what does that mean for you? Like
that means when Mama Dukes comes when Mama Dukes gets released and tries to fight to get the child, she can't do shit without me. And if she tries, she goes right back to prison.
But the child's still in
Mom does
foster home.
I wouldn't call it that, but yeah.
Yeah, she's in a foster home. That's not having custody of your child.
No, she's not in a foster home. She was. I don't even know how to explain it because anyway I explain it, it sounds fucked up.
Yeah, she's in state care.
No, she's not in state care.
Not she with somebody else in the family?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. April Lockdown wants to know what happened to the 3 and 9-year-old. Okay. First of all, the 3-year-old is now 5. The 9-year-old is now 12. The 3-year-old is my youngest daughter's brother, who happened to be living with me, my 2 children, my wife, and my ex-wife, who had custody of the child. And we may have been divorced, but we were still friends. And as for the 9-year-old who's now 12, she's in the other room watching something on my tablet. I couldn't tell you.
So why was it you decided to meet at the Dollar General?
That's where we were at the time. We had to get food.
It was just like a shopping mall. You're not eating there. You're just getting stuff, or what? It's like a strip mall type of stuff.
It's basically a dollar store. You go in, you can buy. It's basically, that's all it is. It's like a dollar store, any random dollar store.
So what did you tell Allison you were down there for?
I told her we were down there because we had a house, and she already knew we were on our way because I texted her the day before and told her we were coming. And
you were bringing her boyfriend?
She didn't have a boyfriend at the time.
Mm-mm.
That I understand.
So you don't take credit for setting those two up?
No, I don't.
Why not?
I actually told him to stay away from all my exes. They're fucking psycho. Well, he didn't want to listen. He tried to hook up with my second baby mama before we even went down there.
Well, you have a lot of baby mamas in your life. It's hard to keep, the non-baby mamas and the baby mamas separate.
I have 4.
I mean, it could be anybody.
No, I got 4.
Oh, okay, 4.
The 9-year-old you're speaking of is now 12, April.
What's going on, Nasty? 4 is a lot of baby mamas. That is.
Well, hey, I was young and dumb.
The 2019 trip was 6 years ago. She was down there in 2020.
Trip? How's dinner coming, babe? Oh, shit. Hang on, AB. I gotta check dinner. I'll be right back.
Okay. The old lady yelling at you? The old lady's yelling at Andrew.
No, I didn't burn him.
See, Jose, he was a junkie and he was selling his body on the internet. Wasn't he, Dick?
Dinner done, come get.
I wonder what they're having. Chicken cacciatore.
What? Dinner done, come get. Well, I don't know what the fuck you want. Sorry, Abby, I'll be right there, bud.
That's all right. No worries. We're listening to the hot mic. Do you guys want to ask Andrew any questions? Throw them in chat. I'll ask. She does crack the whip often. Oh, I wonder what her true feelings are about the whole scenario. She's just allowing him back into their life because they have a baby together, of course. But he's been out gallivanting around for the past umpteen years, racking up all kinds of notches on his bedstand, both male and female. He's 34. He looks 75, AB. I guess it depends on the camera perspective. Yeah, he's a shapeshifter. He's very, very talented in that way. Good at his makeup. And he loves putting on makeup, black nail polish. That's funny shit. Oh, shit.
In 12 hours back to New York.
Because you have family here, and
No,
Jeffy
but you guys,
could
somebody
stop
had
the
a job.
transfer. Jeffy
He
could
put
stop
in a
the transfer.
transfer.
Yeah,
He
could
stopped the transfer.
Well, come to find out, when we got back, his boss up here, we
Fire
didn't
him.
even put it in because he didn't want Jeffy. So
So
went back to
he
work.
lied
Went
and
back to work
said.
2 days later.
Okay, so
Well, reckoning, if you're challenging any of his statements, now's the time.
my sister worked for years at Walmart. I've ran dollar stores and truck stops, so I kind of know how scheduling works.
Nothing wrong with a good 9 to 5.
That's not my point at all, Andrew. My point is that would mean his boss never took him off the schedule, lied to him and said, yep, you're transferred. Now, when you get a transfer, you do get your transfer with a estimate schedule. Yep. So Jeffy should have been on a schedule then for that Walmart, right? If I'm not mistaken. So then he had to call his boss and say, my house isn't ready. So we're just going to quick run back to New York, go back to New York. I'm going to go back to work there. And the boss says, hey, I never put your transfer in. And he's back working within 72 hours
on schedule.
2 days later.
He put the down payment on the house, and they said, okay.
How much? How much was the down payment?
Fuck. He only had 3,000 out of the like 40 he had.
Do you know how much he got for the 401k?
He took out all of it. All 40,
Do you know
I believe.
40 grand?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's rumored, I've talked with Donald that something about owing about 40, 50 grand.
Oh, well. All I know is the money went on the house, and we took what was left and went down.
And then Jose waited back for a bank transfer or something to come back with the money, or?
No.
Okay.
No. Jose, like I said, Jose wasn't even supposed to know. He was
Jose just jumped in.
He was supposed to be elsewhere the day we left. And he said, well.
Where's Jeffy now?
Huh?
Yeah,
where's Jeffy now?
Up in chat.
He doesn't ever talk.
Jeffy's getting ready for work.
He's getting ready for work.
Ro, do you ever think that you're going to be able to make amends with all of the craziness that goes on with Mama Bear? Or have you just developed a like for combat?
Works overnight.
I think they both like fighting each other.
I think it's all a bunch of bullshit.
God, I love my wife.
What? It is. It's a bunch of bullshit. That's why I don't get into your YouTube bullshit, because nobody would like me. They like me a hell of a lot less than they like you.
That happens, love.
He's just really not big in the, he's that type to where my business is my business type deal.
Really, you go get that job.
And I don't know. He's not the same Jeffy I know. He's changed in the last couple of months. So I honestly don't know. Honestly, he used to be over here all the day. Every day he got off, he was over here hanging out, whatnot with us, spending time with us, everything. And now all of a sudden he's.
So what did you all put in the storage? What did you all have to put in?
Andrew, are you a member of Unlock Your Reality or Lightning Tiger, Ernie Shell? Do you still follow Ernie?
No.
Oh, what was your experiences with Ernie? Did you have any?
I mean, when I talked to him, he seemed all right. I mean, a little out of his mind, but okay.
Good deal, good deal.
I mean, even outside of the YouTubes, he was all right. But I ain't talked to him for like 2 years now.
living the gypsy life. That's Jose Roman. That's what it sounds like. So how did you come to know Jose? What was he doing in Gloversville?
His family's from that area.
So
Yeah,
did you guys run in the same cross-dressing circles?
No. Like I said, it's a 2 mile by 2 mile town. I mean, it may seem small, but you really don't know anybody unless you went to school with them or grew up with them.
It's not that big of a city.
I know, but it ain't that hard not to avoid people either.
Yeah, that's true.
Really good at it. Don't leave my motherfucking house.
Storage, because so is there
my
still
mother-
stuff in storage right now?
No. Hell no. I might have to get a storage soon. No, Jesus Christ.
Okay, so you all went to the storage. You went to put everything in the storage. You didn't even get to put anything in storage. Did you?
So at the time, Andrew, this was all going down of the trip, just before the trip, what were some typical items that you packed in?
We had our beds, her mother's.
Now let's get clear. Who was living together at the time? Was Jeffy, and Jose all living together at the same time, renting a place?
At the time, it was Jeffy, Jose, my old lady, and me, my old lady, and the 2 kids.
All living in the same house.
Yep.
And Jose was there, and you had like 13 cats too?
No, we had 3.
Oh, you had 3?
Yeah. We had 3. 2 were mine. 1 was Jeffy's. We actually left group with Hunter, who
Jeffy made the decision. So because you were all living under the same roof anyway, Jeffy made the decision to do the family a solid and move that living arrangement to Tennessee. Now, how did he come about this?
We were discussing
this house.
We were discussing it. We were discussing moving down there just about a day or 2 after I was supposed to go pick up Hunter for visitation, but couldn't due to COVID just being in session.
Got a serious question, babe.
Why
does it matter?
I don't know.
When someone
What do you mean? Why does it matter? Why doesn't your wife understand that there's a missing child behind all of this?
Because the thing is, the move has nothing to do with the child.
Holy fuck.
No, but people don't believe that. People don't believe that. So why is that hard for her to understand that people are questioning that?
People are obviously fucking stupid then. I'm sick of hearing about it. It's been done and over with for 4 motherfucking years. Let it fucking go.
Now we get you.
Holy fuck.
So you guys hear that? That's your fucking answers.
Oh boy. It's going to be a long night for me.
Well, you started it. You're getting the old lady all worked up. Yeah, he shouldn't come online trying to grift then. Yeah, come on.
Pause. What was that?
Sweet Tea says that you shouldn't be online trying to grift.
No,
then,
not that.
Alyssa.
Listen, we didn't rent no storage unit for fucking Candace or try to move to Ben Hill. We were going to Tennessee. We were going to Kingsport. Why the fuck would I go a whole 45 minutes away from Kingsport? My kid's in Kingsport. That kind of makes it fucking stupid, don't you think?
It makes sense why you would want to go down there.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to wrap my head around the living arrangement at the time so that's better understanding your state of mind.
Yeah,
because to a lot of people, when they see all of these fucking random strangers and all of your kids, and then there's no reason that you want to give them for the actual move, all the way down the Appalachians into Kingsport, it's sketchy. I'm not saying it's sketchy, but I understand why people think it is. I'm trying to understand.
Don't be mad at him. He's answering the chat.
Okay, well, here's
don't be mad at him.
Here's the deal. We were moving to Tennessee, 1, to be close to my stepson, and 2, to get my kids the fuck up out of New York where all these goddamn sex offenders live. We got
That's
down
fucking
there.
a good answer.
It was going to be another 3 to 4
That's new
days
information,
to get
everybody
house
at
ready.
home.
I did not have the money to pay for a fucking hotel room at $600 a night while fucking NASCAR was in. I wasn't going to stay at Candace's house because that bitch gave me a nasty ass vibe. So we came back to New York.
When you put your foot down, you put your foot down.
Well, I appreciate that answer, Alyssa. That's cool.
But yeah, he's just.
I don't think anybody's ever heard that before. Nobody has
going
ever heard Alyssa say that before, and that's new. That adds credence to the claims of the scenario that was unfolding.
I just had to remind you. You're just going with chat and shit, not to yell at you. You didn't do anything. You're just doing your thing. AB's one of the good ones, babe.
I'm just sick of hearing it.
I know.
2021. Here we are.
I can tear a strip off of me.
AB's one of the good ones, love. Just remember that.
We weren't even there for a full fucking 12 hours.
Actually, I did produce. AB can back check it if he feels. I did produce that prices when NASCAR's in any close to anywhere. Hotels jacked it, double their prices for rooms per night.
Well, I think about it in terms of lockdown as well. Like a lot of people were doing things that they wouldn't normally necessarily do in that moment, right? And there wasn't a lot of hotel rooms in that sense.
Well, that in
so why didn't what does the wife say about why she didn't want to stay at Candace's? What was it that turned her off about that?
A really bad vibe. Not to mention, I'm gonna say it. You put her ex-girlfriend and Candace side by side. I tell you, they were twins.
So it's interesting to know that your wife has children, stepchildren. Who was she going down in Kingsport?
Hunter.
Oh, that you wanted to be closer to Hunter as well. Yeah.
Yes, I yes.
That makes sense. It makes sense in that sense.
We have outside of each other. Listen, it wasn't it's technically it's an 8.5 hour ride, but with the amount of stops it took us 18.5 hours.
So you were like one big happy family at that point in time. And Jose was also just living with you on the couch.
Jose wasn't even supposed to go.
Yeah, Jose Jose wasn't even supposed to go.
That's cool. He wasn't even supposed to
already
go.
Had a spot. He was supposed to already have a spot by the time we left because everything was already put in motion to go by what was it, June? By June. We started discussing it to go in June, and then we started putting things in motion.
Was done.
What sort of things did you look at? It would have been interesting to know if there were some other selections of temporary housing, like places to rent in the area.
With what money?
Yeah, the only money we had was what was left when we got down there.
So was a lot of the decision making up to like Jeffy?
At that point, yeah, because on the way back, we actually had to ask a couple family members to loan us some money so we could finish getting back because we ran out of money.
You needed gas money to get back. Yeah, I've been there.
That and food for the kids. I mean, that's how low of money that we had at the time.
So what did you tell your landlord? You didn't tell him anything yet, hopefully?
No, we actually at that point we ended up staying with family until we moved into our last apartment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I went to work about a month after we got back. The old lady went to work 2 months after we got back.
So you know what the latest rumor about you is?
That I'm a piece of shit?
No, that's ever lingering. So you're sleeping with a 16-year-old. Your next baby mama was underage when you were with her.
No.
And people have a right to be skeptical about that because of her young age. But I just the numbers. How am I supposed to verify any of the numbers? I got to rely on you to tell me.
18. But listen, I actually can verify and backtrack age if you like. Let me just get to
6 years. 6 years from what it is now, isn't it?
2016. So that was.
I'm gonna fall for a rough record.
Yeah, she was arrested at 26. And that was last year, I think, or the year before. Shit. I just had it up for the fucking live I did the other day.
Karma Queen, you want a link? There's a link right there. I'll get my porn
fuck?
bomb screen out.
Yeah, I only show long enough so you know it's not a porn bomb, dude. That was fucked, whoever did that. But I can honestly say it wasn't Ro.
It wasn't Ro?
No, sir. I can guarantee that. She was 20...
Where else did I see a porn bomb the other day? I think I saw a dirty ass porn bomb, which is disgusting. It was probably AC's.
Yeah, she was 26 and 23. Makes her 28 now.
Here's Karma Queen. I'll put the porn bomb screen on just in case.
Yes, please do. We don't need to see all that.
Hi, Karma Queen. Welcome to the show.
My math ain't mathing today. No math for Andrew.
Hello.
Babe, do my math.
Hi, Karma Queen. You're in the show with Andrew. Do you have something to yell at Andrew about?
No, my question is, you're moving from New York to get away from sex offenders just to go to Tennessee near more sex offenders. How much sense does that make to you?
Well, see, we don't really look into any of that garbage. Our main focus was to get out of New York and to go see Hunter.
Well, newsflash, sex offenders are everywhere.
Newsflash.
No shit.
Well, newsflash, Karma Queen.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, we know this. And newsflash, it still doesn't mean we don't want to get our kids out of this.
Karma Queen, where'd you go? Where'd you go, girl?
I don't
You
know.
don't have to leave. She yelled as soon as the old lady started yelling.
She left.
I think she did
Booted
that
herself after the fact.
when it
Holy
started.
shit.
Oh shit.
Do you have any information relevant to the what?
Oh gosh. Sorry, well, go ahead, Andrew.
What did Dick Dollar just say?
Andrew, do you have any information relevant to the prosecution of Don Wells or Candace Bly?
No. Only what my son told me. And that he's told everybody already.
Don't follow that. Has nothing to do with us.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, dude, we've been in New York our whole lives, bro. We want out. We want something new.
Yeah, I believe that. People are just curious, I think. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's not uncommon for people to move because they don't like the state they're in.
Listen, I'm so mad I can't even
You have to expect some of the crazy questions like that because it satisfies their curiosity.
Yeah, the schools are good down. The schools are better than up here. That was.
I could see that. I could see where it would be an appealing place to live. More sense of community in Tennessee. But you're from upstate New York, so I mean, sometimes people just need to change, right?
Well, I mean, I can only. No, thank you. Yes, I'll eat. Fuck it, send it. Listen, I can only deal with the people I grew up with for so long, and then I have to go. I mean, this is not us moving down to Tennessee wasn't the first time I tried to get the fuck out of New York. I moved to Vermont, and then I had to come home because of family issues, and then about 6 years before I got with the old lady, I left and went to Georgia, and then something happened with family, so I had to come home. So every time that I would try to get the hell away from this part that I live in upstate New York, something would happen to where I'd have to come back and help deal with it. And I would.
So your recent rant about Jody Sue Brown stemmed from what? What is she saying recently?
Oh,
that's making you question her nonsense.
Nothing. She hasn't said
Nothing.
anything.
You're just going after.
No, I'm not going after anybody. It's Andrew's list. I'm giving everybody that I have dealt with in the last 4 years. I'm giving them 30 minutes of my time or less.
Oh, okay.
It's
You know what
not.
you
It's
do?
not
Go
me
up to
pointing
Brock
fingers, saying this, and this. It's me just asking questions that I have not asked, that I've been wanting to ask, and it's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to start asking questions.
You know what? You should go up to like ChatGPT or Grok and ask it to generate you a script, and put your input into Grok and tell it to generate you a script to read, and it'll probably be a lot funnier.
Probably. Oh, I do
It's
hope
just
you
an
like
extra
it
step.
from that.
It's just an extra step.
Yeah,
Huh.
I do hope you like the thumbnail I chose for you.
Yeah, Squirrel, I saw that. That's insulting. I couldn't believe it.
Well,
Yeah,
I
that's
couldn't
fine.
find anything else, and you
I
don't
haven't
have a
seen anything
normal.
yet.
I was just throwing random animals and things up there, so.
Yeah, I'm not the only one that falls for Andrew and the wife. Well, what do you want me to say? You have to let a person talk in that sense. You have to let them say their piece.
Do you know what I find?
Then you can put things together and then question it.
When we moved,
Why? Is it funny, love?
because we have a couple that are friends with us who just up and moved to Tennessee as well. No one's digging into their problem, their issues. No one's trying to find out why they moved.
Hold on, pause. Allison did the same thing too.
Okay, but the only reason that they're dragging our personal business, why we left, is because Hunter's mother was friends with a fucking psychopath.
Damn.
Well, to be fair, I mean,
You know what she
since
thinks.
day 13, Andrew has been a part of the case since day 13. So there's always been a question because of how he came to know about the case through the lens of mainstream media and the human aid solution situation with Jeremy.
Yeah.
That's really what got
that
people
pissed
talking and
me
wondering
off.
about him.
No, but here's the problem with that. They want to tie Andrew into this
I don't think he can
so
hear you.
fucking bad.
Oh, I can hear it.
We weren't even in the area when that little girl went missing. It was months and months later. Almost a full year after we were there.
Oh, he brought up
For sure.
Dugan. Who got a hold? Was it me that got a hold of Dugan, or was it him that got a hold of me?
I don't fucking know.
The Baca people.
People have accused you of being involved directly with Summer Wells.
I have been accused of it many times.
But the fucked up part is, we weren't even there.
No, Hunter did not call me until 3 days after the fact. Even
I
though
think
I
it's more
kept
common.
trying to call him. I
It's
didn't know
more
what was going on.
common, Andrew, for people to believe that you're hiding and you're a part of a greater ring that Candace and Dawn may be involved in. That's where people's imaginations are, that there's an imaginary ring involved here and they're all being secretive in the same way, perhaps, and they're protecting the same thing. That's just what it looks like from the outside looking at a wall. But it's just people putting things together in their mind. I get a kick out of how easily people get convinced of things that just aren't true.
Just like,
Don't you?
did
You obviously get a good taste of that. You know what I mean? Like I see it all the time, but you would see it as well, just being involved with the scenario.
Right.
my children that I carried for 9 months that I pushed out of my wahaha are trafficked children. I'd love to know how I trafficked my own fucking kids. I got their birth certificates, their social security cards. I got all
Yeah,
the
that was
stretch
another
marks.
thing. That was another thing. Somebody went out and put that the kids that live that we have
Living with us.
are traffic
I can show you the birth
traffic
certificates, they're
children.
right here.
That was another funny one. I laughed at it too. I thought it was fucking great.
Are they?
No, they're no.
Holy shit.
The bitch came out of my.
I promise you that I carried both those little jerks for 9 months. I went through hours and hours of labor and delivery for both those children. I have their birth certificates. I have their social security cards. I have the stretch marks to prove it.
Maybe you should try being a surrogate, perhaps.
So
You could be a surrogate mom for some of these rich elites and these baby farms.
Yeah,
I promise you, my kids, all 4 of my children, they all have aspects of my features. They all look like mommy.
Yep. They're all mommy's kids, trust. I mean, this is just some of the shit that she hears that she's been hearing over the years, like when she would walk by. This is some of the shit she would be hearing.
Speaking of the child.
Which
yes,
one?
child.
Oh, speaking of the 14-year-old, Jesus.
All right, Andrew. Well, I'm going to shut this down, friends, and we're going to go get some supper. I'll leave you to it. Thank you for joining again and straightening things out, friends.
Hey, listen, I do apologize about the wife's attitude. She just
Oh,
had to
don't even worry about it. That's excellent. I love it.
All right. Later,
I love
brother.
it. Thanks, Alyssa. See you later.
Later.
Guys, I'll talk to you guys in the morning. I'm back off to the exchange. That was pretty excellent of them to step up. I'm still wondering about it. That'll still drive Alyssa nuts. Of course, you're always going to wonder about things because you're constantly, scrolling through what you think to be facts in any particular mystery or situation. There's plenty in this one, but again, you don't have to go far. And that says more when there's a lack of evidence, in my opinion, especially in a case like Summer Wells. Whether they're pulling something off themselves or they're protecting somebody that they know is probably guilty in this, who's to say? We can't really tell at this point in time. It's just sad to see a family get torn apart, you know, like the Wells have been by the system. And when you start to